if you're holding a Louis Vuitton or if you're holding a Gucci, people would make you believe. Like they would look at you if you're holding a cool bag, and which is really nice, but it's not like a high-end brand. They would look at you and be like, you know, she's not cool. I loved Kajol as an actor. We share the same birthday also. Not that that means anything, but I loved Kajol. I loved Sridevi. I loved Madhuri. So I loved them, you know, while growing up. If you've ever seen me outside of school, I am in track pants, tied hair, with a knapsack with my boys. That's how I live my life. I may work with a superstar, but I will still work with a newcomer.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very clear, and that's always been my graph. You know, I will treat my superstar film as much as I treat my newcomer film. He's not someone who thinks that, though I think as a person, I'm more the homemaker than Riteish. But it's never taken for granted. It's always something that is appreciated. So make it smaller, fix it. I'm known for my smile. Had I listened to them that time, you know, this wouldn't. So I think there's one part which sees imperfection in you, and there's one part that enjoys your imperfections.
Welcome to Instant Bollywood. I am in conversation with the cutest, bubbliest, someone who actually dons a lot of hats and so beautifully. Joining me in a conversation is none other than Genelia Deshmukh. So nice to have you.
Thank you so much, Aina. Thank you.
I was waiting for this. Your team can vouch for this and tell you कि मैं रुकी थी मैं आपसे बात करूँ because आप में एक ऐसी genuine energy है.
Thank you so much, Aina. Thank you.
That I feel like, you know, we see it a little rare in the industry.
Okay, thank you. That's a big compliment then.
So I want to start off by asking you कि you've always been a Bandra girl.
Yeah.
आपका बचपन कैसे गया? अब हम देखते हैं बैंड्रा को काफी कैफेज आ गए हैं, काफी कुछ बदल गया है.
कुछ भी नहीं था पहले. I don't think it was anything like that. It was all Bandra का एक vibe था actually. It was middle class, sweet. आप चल सकते थे. You could run. You could, you know, just be out in shorts. Non-judgmental. Bandra was very that. Today's Bandra, I don't know actually, but it's very cute. It still has another chance. Like you said, so many cafes. People can at least hang out. People can meet. So the Bandra that I grew up in was with playgrounds.
Wow.
Yeah. So I constantly walked in Bandra. So
I think it has some beautiful lanes also.
Yes.
But अब हम देखते हैं कि छोटे-छोटे cafes.
हाँ, बहुत मतलब traffic बहुत ज़्यादा है, and it's blocked every road. Like I feel sometimes I live at Worli now. From Worli to Bandra to reach my mom's house is a bigger struggle than to reach anywhere else sometimes.
Oh my God. But अगर मैं पूछूं आपका बचपन कैसे बीता आपके घर पर, मम्मी पापा के साथ क्या रिश्ता था, कैसे गया?
I would say कि हम एक बहुत क्लोज फैमिली है. सो एवरीथिंग वाज डन टुगेदर. एक डिसीजन जो था, मतलब व्हेन आई वाज इवन बिकमिंग एन एक्टर, वाज अबाउट टुगेदरनेस. एंड सो आई केम फ्रॉम अ वेरी मिडिल क्लास फैमिली. माय पेरेंट्स वर ऑलवेज विथ मी. My brother was a very big support, even till today. And we had 2 dogs, which was pretty much our life. And like, it was a family.
Yeah.
The dogs included. It was not like, you know, one of those. I remember that when I used to go to shoot in Hyderabad, someone from my family would come to pick me up. And it wouldn't be a driver, it wouldn't be, you know, me taking Ubers. It would either be my brother driving and coming to pick me up, or my dad driving and coming to. So some days I miss those days because it was just so organic, so sweet and so small that you're just a unit. Like breakfast जो था हम लोग के घर में, it was a big deal. मतलब we
साथ
had
में
to
ही है।
we had to sit together for breakfast. Breakfast table was a big deal. So so I came from a home of lot of love, a lot of personal attention, no extra help, no, not too much of that, and very progressive. My dad always told me, you're a girl, but you're worth what you are worth. So
Wow.
don't compare yourself to any boy.
At that time, I mean,
Yes.
when did you become close to your brother, if I may ask you? Because sibling bond is something.
No, always. Me and my brother, actually, I didn't have my own room or anything. Me and my brother shared a room till I was quite old, 20, 21. And I remember when my parents said that now have your own rooms, we hated it. The first 10 days, we still stayed in each other's room. So I had a very close bond, and I still have a very close bond with my brother. We were never taught that we're two separate people. We were a team. So
Yeah.
that's my relationship.
Now, when I think about it, that's so opposite to what you and Pratik Babbar shared.
Yeah, but strangely, even in that we were a team, which he misses out that Aditi is no more part of his life.
Yeah. And then it hits that he misses his sister. But I feel एक middle class family के लिए जो इतनी grounding है और humbling है, आपके जहन में कैसे आया कि मुझे एक्ट्रेस बनना है, साउथ जाना है? आई फील फॉर अ फैमिली इट्स सॉर्ट ऑफ सो न्यू।
नहीं, मुझे तो एक्ट्रेस बनना ही नहीं था। आई डिडंट वांट टू बी एन एक्टर। फिल्म्स एक करियर ऑप्शन नहीं था। It just wasn't a career option at all. It was, I was at college, someone picked me up from there saying this, and I mean, it's a long story, but it wasn't something that I set out to do. It happened. I just had a lot of support, and I think middle class upbringing is my superpower. I honestly feel
Why
that.
do you say that?
Because आपको सब पता है, when you're middle class, you know the value of money, you know the value of an opportunity, you know the value of people being nice, not nice. You know it. You can see it at that thing. You know what it means to work hard.
Yeah.
I think that is something that is my it's honestly being middle class is my superpower. मुझे एक understanding है कि how a normal middle class girl would behave. I'm not trying to act that. I've lived my whole life being that. So of course you come on the way you develop phrases, and I'm very grateful to God that I did. But I think having a middle class upbringing is the best thing I've ever had.
But it's very interesting because you say that, because जब भी कोई middle class होता है, we always aim to be a higher class.
Yes, I also did, I think, at some level. I remember when I was introduced to the world of brands, then I thought it was a necessity. I thought it was a sign of status. That if you're holding a Louis Vuitton or if you're holding a Gucci, and people would make you believe, they would look at you if you're holding a cool bag, and which is really nice, but it's not like a high-end brand. They would look at you and be like, she's not cool.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that thinking has changed. Today, though, I don't buy brands except for athleisure and sports shoes, I only shop in India. I love Indian brands. I think they're doing some great work. There are brands that are amazing, and there are brands that have still to evolve. But there's still so much more here than what we aim or what we want to, what we're taught. We're taught that ये एक level of prosperity है, जो actually नहीं है. I feel that prosperity जो है is in your day-to-day living. If today, I tell my children कि you be the best version of yourself. Compare करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. You don't have to compare yourself with another person. But be the best version of yourself. So if you feel that you've not done 100% today, tomorrow do 100%. That is progress. That is prosperity.
Yeah.
So I think if you get to the basics of it, and it's come with time. I won't be dishonest. Initially even I felt ki,
how did you come out of that ki it's okay, I don't have to prove anything to you?
I think it's your upbringing that eventually said, you may go a little bit this side, little bit that side, and then you realize, what am I doing? I am trying to do something for someone else, not for myself.
No, I think it's very natural to sort of sway in that time.
Yeah.
But your name means unique.
Yes.
Tell me, 2 to 3 क्वालिटीज जो आपको लगता है आपके बारे में काफ़ी यूनिक है?
I don't know. Can you tell me?
I mean, like things I would say on a very external actor lens.
Yeah.
I feel like Genelia the person. If there's something that you feel is a little.
So I think I'm a great friend. I think I'm a great friend. I can take your secret. I'm a secret keeper. Big secret keeper. I can take your secret to my grave. Like I'm that good a secret keeper. I think I'm highly sensitive, which makes me who I am. There's a certain kind of ability to connect with anyone, and I think that's because I'm just honest. Like
Empathetic, I feel.
Yeah, I think empathetic to a large extent. Yeah, and you know, very often people say कि that person's not empathetic, but I feel it boils down to upbringing. अगर आपके बचपन में आपको ये you know they've not taught you this, then at some point you'll never be empathetic. Like when my children sit in school, something that I tell them is, did you talk to the child who was alone? You know, at lunch break, you have a gang, great, but there must be one child who's sitting alone and having lunch. Were you part of that guy's, you know, or girls' lunchtime? They're like, no, but they don't want, they want to sit alone. I said, maybe, but it'd be nice to just say hi and go. That is empathy at certain levels, you know, treating pets. We keep pets at home and we treat them like they're part of furniture. So I think if you have those basic things, it sorts you out for life.
Absolutely. And, you know, I want to ask, is there someone growing up that you sort of idealized कि I know actress नहीं बनना था, but मुझे इनकी फिल्में अच्छी लगती थी या?
No, I loved Kajol. I loved Kajol as an actor. We share the same birthday also. Not that that means anything, but I loved Kajol. I loved Sridevi. I loved Madhuri. So I loved them, you know, while growing up. And probably it's also, you know, you take a bit from people that you look up to. So I'm sure their whole expressions and all, I've grown up watching them. So, you know, probably I've borrowed it. But I've never had an idol like that.
Yeah, but I feel when you started working in the South industry, ऐसा हुआ कि your parents were a little worried because industry कैसी होगी?
No, वो तो Bollywood में भी था. They felt the same about
Bollywood.
Yeah,
just the industry.
Yeah, industry एक bad word था in my house. Like it was a bad word. It wasn't something that was easy to digest when I first got offered. But my mum, and I honestly give her a lot of credit because she's a very progressive lady. When I first got her, she said, see, I don't know this world, but it's an opportunity. Now it's up to you how you make it. Yeah. And I'll be with you. She was always with me. My mum was always with me. I think that's very important. I think as an actor or as anybody, when you come home to something, you're forced not to go the wrong way, you know, by default. Like, my mom used, like I remember there were days that I would come home really late and she would still wait for me at that time. So I think a large extent is the kind of trust she had in me and the ability to see that maybe this could be your career option or maybe not. But you don't look at it as a bad word. Look at it as, you know, an opportunity.
Yeah, and you did, and it worked out so well for you.
Yeah, I did.
That's lovely. क्या आपको लगता है that you know you said this one line कि मुझे fame इतना affect नहीं करता. I feel it's so ironic for an actress जिनके लिए fame इतना बड़ा byproduct है आपकी काम का. How do you let that factor not affect you?
See, I'm very grateful to have got it. I'm very grateful to have got fame through my work. But I don't think that's what I don't think I work for fame. So then it's very easy to disconnect. I mean, if you've ever seen me outside of school, I am in track pants, tied hair, with a knapsack with my boys. That's how I live my life, you know. I'm not someone who's around with heels and, you know, dressed up. In fact, I'm not even half as trendy as the other mums in school. And you can ask a lot of them. Like, they'll tell you, when they ask me, they're like, don't you want to be like this and all? I'm like, I do this for a living. you know, I'm happy to be just me. Like, my favorite thing is pajamas. Like, I love pajamas. I could go out in pajamas.
Yeah, but there is no like missing out on like क्या हो रहा है बाहर, FOMO, या फिर
there's no, like, even very often at the airport and all, people don't recognize me, you know, they don't necessarily, I mean, they'll look, then they'll go, then they'll look again, then they'll figure out, you know, because I'm so normally dressed, like, I'm just a normal girl. And I love it. Like, I'm not someone who will arrive
big glasses,
boots, with a trendy bag. I'll be with a knapsack. I'm always, you know, either like a bag which I can throw all my stuff in, or either like a knapsack. And I don't change. Like, you'll not see me changing my bags left, right, and center.
Yeah.
I'll probably just for, you know, feel like a different bag, but otherwise it's more comfort.
But I feel अब you have reached that point जहाँ पे इतनी security है, like you feel very comfortable, you know, there are so many things beyond work.
Yeah.
But was there a point where you felt like, I love the fame, especially I think Jaane was like a turnaround point in your life? तभी भी नहीं.
Fame was never part of my agenda. It was never ever. Like, it was always gratitude to have been loved. See, when you ask me, what about your hit films you like? I like the fact that Aditi is part of maybe your home, or is part of a mother's home who felt her daughter is like me. That's my gratification. Like, I feel if 20 years later we're talking about Aditi and Jaane too, and I'm sure I'm much younger than you, so I just feel that is what I look forward to.
Yeah.
The work that I've done has been taken home, has been lived by a family. So that makes a big difference. Like, if that didn't happen, it would matter to me, you know. But I think the fact that my characters became more than Genelia means a lot to me. Means I'm doing a great job.
Yeah, that you are. That we can vouch for. But even then, I feel आपके लिए इस इंडस्ट्री में या एक्टिंग के लिए ड्राइविंग फोर्स अगर मैं कहूँ, जैसे ओके फेम हम निकाल सकते हैं, बट देन इज इट द characters, is it money, is it, what is a motivating factor to go on set?
I love my job. Like, I love acting. I love spending time with my script and just figuring out what I can do. Like, besides meeting the director, besides meeting the actors, besides doing readings, just that alone time with myself, hoping to get something in this line, hoping, I really do that. Like, I spend that time. Like, so if someone rushes me into a film or I'm bothered because I feel I've not got it. I don't know what to do, you know. So I take my time and I do stuff. That's a big driving factor for me. Of course, I don't like, today I can do a lot more because I'm more settled and, you know, my career's been good and I've landed myself with children, marriage, you know, a certain kind of stability financially. But there was a time where that was my job and I would look forward to, you know, what I was bringing home in terms of finances as well. Like, I had to set my finances right at that point. So I don't think it's something that you disregard. You know, my dad always told me, where money is concerned, it shouldn't be your priority, but it should be your progress. So I think I took that as a learning.
That's a good quote for like life.
Yeah.
But I feel South में भी जब आपने काम किया था, आपने now the whole term of pan India and the craze and all has come, but I feel आपने बहुत पहले ही कर लिया था and you worked with Junior NTR, Allu Arjun, Rajamouli sir. Today people are dying to sort of work with them. And I think you've seen them in days where, you know, all this was not that extravagant. What would you like to say? Like, how was it back then?
I've had the best time in the South industry. I've really had a blast. I've got some of my best work from there, you know. And I've had the opportunity to work with all these superstars when they were doing either their second film or their third film. So it's a matter of pride when I see them today, when I see a Pushpa, when I see Junior NTR, and when I see Rajamouli, so Bahubali, it's a matter of pride knowing that I was once part of all of this. Again, see, it's amazing, right, to have worked with everything, but it's not the fame of it. It was about the interactions. It's about the character. That was my takeaway from all of it. And I wish we didn't term films as, South industry, North industry, Marathi industry, Bollywood. I wish we didn't do that. I wish, I honestly, and I'm not saying this out of, pitching it against any actors or pitting it out there as Bollywood versus South. I purely did it because I loved my job. I loved acting. I didn't see language as, a reason to not go there. I didn't put one industry above the other. And even as an actor, I may work with a superstar, but I will still work with a newcomer.
Yeah.
I'm very clear, and that's always been my graph. I will treat my superstar film as much as I treat my newcomer film.
Right.
Maybe you would treat it differently, but I will treat it exactly the same because it means so much to me. Yeah. Whether it's something, again, I don't wait for someone's validation. It's not like, okay, it's only this or it's only that. So I think basically I'm a very secure person in my mindset. So I'm not craving to be someone else. I'm happy being Genelia, know. I don't find that I'll appreciate someone who's beautiful but I don't necessarily feel that I'm 10 steps behind. I feel I am what I'm supposed to be.
How have you reached this point? When did this switch come?
I think when you have really lovely people in your life, like Riteish, my parents, like my brother. I think when you have that unit which is not complicated, where we discuss things about securities, we discuss things about insecurities, when there's a conversation that happens constantly, if I felt bad today and I tell my mom that I think I felt bad today, it's a conversation, right? It doesn't become like mum-child. Then it becomes, it's not otherwise you're too scared to express to your parents what you feel.
True.
I think if that is, and there'll always be a respect factor, but you should be able to communicate, I feel. Even with Riteish, I feel we started dating when I was on my first film. So I think I've seen his highs and lows, he's seen my highs and lows. But the basis of everything is problem solving. So I think when you have that attitude, कि ठीक है यार, problems तो आते रहते हैं, but solve करना important है. Don't just be a quitter. Solve it.
Do you think that quality, जो problem solving quality है, is what's made this relationship strong? Is that the pillar or foundation of your relationship?
No, Riteish is a very, very lovely person. I think Riteish gives you wings to fly. He's not someone who thinks that, though I think as a person, I'm more the homemaker than Riteish. But it's never taken for granted. It's always something that is appreciated. It's always something that, there are the times when I get tired and I say that, Riteish is too much. And sometimes I'm scared to say it because we've been trained as mothers that you can't say.
Yeah.
This is your job, you have to do it. But there are days I tell Riteish, today I'm just tired, can you take over today? And he'll do it.
Yeah.
He'll just do it. So I think when you have those kind of bonds, and this is with my kids, as little as they are, 9 and 10, my children. There are some days that they feel, okay, Ai's had a long night, had a hectic shoot. When you're ready for food, we'll talk. So they give you that space. I think that's very important,
You say often that आपके और रितेश के बीच you're the bad cop.
Yeah, I tell him I'm the only bad bone in his body.
But tell me, कि on a day where you're not playing the bad cop, how do you pamper your boys?
No, as parents, we're both equal. As parents, we never go against someone. Like if I have taken a decision, Riteish will say that decision is right. He won't say, okay, wait, come here, have chocolate. He won't throw you under the bus. Yeah, he won't throw you under the bus. So that we're partners. Bad cop is in a lot of other things like production and this and that. So yeah, I mean, I'm just more clear, outspoken and a little more clear if I feel. I think I'm extremely honest. Sometimes I'm not politically correct, but I've learned with Riteish that there's also a time to speak, not speak if you're not asked. So I think that's the kind of impact Riteish has had on me.
What quality do you think that he's sort of imbibed from you?
I have no. I think understanding that spending time with each other matters. I think
quality.
Yeah, like Riteish is with me, but there's sometimes that we are with each other, we're busy, or both of us are on the phone. Like now, as a rule in our house, lunch time or dinner time, our phones are taken. Kids will talk. We will talk. We all eat together. Like even if it's the most important things, our phones are kept on the side.
Wow.
So I think, and it's very tough because that we are so used to phones. Like it's like one message can I put, one message can I do, but you realize that that's when you're taking a call for your private, and we have the best moments during that time. We laugh more, we cry more, we discuss more,
Yeah. No, absolutely. I also feel like sort of coming back to your work, you did this ad, I think your first big break was with Amitabh Bachchan. I think wo experience kaise tha? Because I think that was like a pinch me moment.
Yeah, absolutely. See, you're asking me how fame and all doesn't hit me, but I saw a very, very great man, and I was opposite a very great man. And he was unbelievable. My first instance with the industry was someone who was so welcoming.
Yeah.
Someone who stood there when I was saying my dialogues throughout. Today you have dupes, you have, you're not acting with the actor also sometimes that you're with. But I remember Mr. Bachchan saying this to the director back then, that the director was like, "Arey, inka line cut kar lo, let's go on to." And he's like, "No, but why? She's doing a good job." I don't even think he knows he said that. But for me, it has such a big impact that you didn't want to cut me out, even though you're such a superstar and you could cut me out, right?
Yeah.
Like, you were giving me my due as a co-actor. And that for me was a super duper star doing that, right? An encyclopedia and what we call acting doing that. So I think I started at that level where I saw magnanimity, I saw humbleness, I saw punctuality, like of such a great man. What am I? Like, I think the path just became so clear.
I mean, the fact that you remember this
and I'm sure he doesn't. Like, I remember a thing about Shilpa Shetty, and I'm sure she doesn't remember.
What is this thing?
Like, I was in the South, and we were, getting ready for, and I had just come into the house. Shilpa Shetty was a star. She had her entire entourage there. We didn't have. I had like one person there, and my hair was really bad. And she realized, I didn't ask her. She realized, she said, "Why don't you use my hairdresser?"
Wow.
And I used her hairdresser, and I don't even know whether she knows it, whether she remembers it. But those kind of acts of kindness, like what more? There are good people in every industry, I feel,
No, that's true.
It's your energy that attracts what it attracts. If you come out turning like someone, like maybe you do so many interviews.
Yeah.
You may not want to talk to me, finish this interview and get out, right? Like, if I'm that kind, and I hope I'm not.
No, never.
But I'm saying, generally, if you have that vibe, that like, I know so often I come on sets and, I'll just smile and I can see a light dada or, a camera attendant giving me a full smile back. I think that's more than enough for me. Like, they don't have to say good morning, ma'am, or they don't have to. It's just that you made someone smile.
Yeah, no, I agree with this. In fact, Shilpa Shetty के साथ ये मेरे साथ भी हुआ है. Like we were doing an interview and off camera she's giving me like, you know, health tips.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to do it. The camera's not on.
Yeah.
But like she's still like, you know, why are you doing this? Sleep early on time. Get your lifestyle in place. Work out. And she's like, next time I meet you, I want an improvement.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just so you get good people, you know. It's just amazing. And everyone has their flaws. I'll have my flaws. You have your flaws. But the ability to, I think, just enjoy goodness. We've stopped enjoying. We're only looking out for bad things. Now, if I say something, you may turn around my statement and say, I'm not saying you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying there's a possibility of doing that.
Fully.
But there's also a possibility of hearing me as to what I've said.
True.
Versus, you know, finding an easy route to turn it around, right? So, I think it's part and parcel of the game. It's not like I have regrets. But I wish we would just do things more straight than crooked.
Yeah. But I feel Aamir Khan में भी कुछ ऐसी qualities है जैसे आपने कहा कि you know it's left an impact on you, or he's too much a perfectionist and a workaholic to, you know, probably
No, he's another person, like a superstar who loves his job so much and so dearly. You know, people forget that these superstars are superstars because they work so hard. Like so hard. It's not taken for granted. If I tested for Sunita's character, he tested for Gulshan.
Wow.
You know, that's the base of his company. Like something like, you know, when I first started acting, I have freckles. Okay.
Yes.
Now today we have all this freckle. What are those called? Those fillers and all of that. Where everyone is doing it. Back then, they used to tell me cover it with makeup. You know. So I came from covering it up very often. I did Jaane too, and the first thing Aamir Khan at that point in time came and told me, why are they putting makeup on you? I said, I have no clue. Can you please tell them, I want these freckles, you know? Yeah. So I think when someone starts appreciating you for what, and today I feel it's such an important character of me. Or I remember growing up, I have a smile, like a very teethy smile. People would be like, you know, make it smaller, fix it. I'm known for my smile. Had I listened to them that time, you know, this wouldn't. So I think there's one part which sees imperfection in you, and there's one part that enjoys your imperfection. So I go with that part more.
But I'm so glad that the right people recognize that in you, and it sort of, I think in your formative years, sort of made that easier for yourself.
Yes, I definitely think so. I definitely think I had it a lot more easier in terms of the energies that I was attracting. I had some very tough moments. I'm not going to say it was all rosy. But again, the ability to problem solve, those are tough moments. You get through it. You know, you can't just, like, honestly, I feel as a generation, we forgot to problem solve. We forget. Every day we are making more problems. Yeah. You know, that's not life. Life is going to be full of problems, but it's going to be full of amazing memories. Like, times are going to be really tough. Sometimes you're pushed to the wall. And I kid you not, I have been in that situation at a very young age where I've been pushed to the wall, you know.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's been some very tough times that I've gone through. But today I don't even remember it because I chose to problem solve.
If in those tough times, अगर आज की Genelia कुछ अलग करती, तो what quality would you improve in yourself for yourself to deal with that tough situation?
No, I think I dealt with it very well. I think the fact that I knew that, see, one thing I'm very clear, success and failure both are temporary. If you're successful today, you will have failure tomorrow. If you're failure today, you will have success tomorrow. So I don't give too much of attention. Like, even now, everyone's like, Sitare Zameen Par has gone crazy. How do you feel about it? I'm like, I'm just so excited that my Sitare have got, like, you know, so much of excitement. And it's not coming from humble. It's actual truth. It's the truth that I feel that these kids deserve it. Like, you know, they deserve it. And I'm glad to be part of a film that talks about inclusion. That's my takeaway. It's not that, okay, now I'm going to do 500 interviews and I'm sure Bhavika will be very clear in telling you that. It's not about that, you know. It's about, like, it's about the journey together. So I think I'm that person in general. Like I can cut off from success, I can cut off from failure and go for a holiday, go with my kids and just be with my kids. I can do these things.
Yeah, no, that's lovely.
Yeah.
But tell me for Sitare bhi, I think again it was a no makeup look.
Yeah.
Again your freckles are looking so beautiful कि एक look आपका viral जा रहा है जहाँ पे people are like so pretty. Just to sort of be this person, and now we're seeing that in a world जहाँ पे आपने कहा कि you know people are sort of doing things to their face and each to their own. I want to understand your take in why has it become so difficult to be natural?
Because we set beauty standards. Like if a girl at 35 shows some lines on her face, it's looked at as negative. Right? It's looked like you need to go and get a fix. If you want to get a fix, you'll get it irrespective. It shouldn't be the necessity to go and get a fix. I feel every line on your face is a story in itself. Right? Like it's beautiful. Like I feel I'd rather live with my face with lines than one that I don't recognize at all. And this is something that I think Cameron Diaz had said somewhere. And I think that's a fab quote, you know, it's beautiful to feel that way. I'm not saying you don't have to. You can go and do if you feel that I will look better in this way, that's your choice. Don't do it because it's a norm or it's a fashion or it's because someone else wants you to do it. We've stopped enjoying age. I mean, I don't know why. My mom looks beautiful at her age. She don't get herself fixed. You
should
know?
see the comments under your this thing that you've not aged a day. And people are feeling like it's so good to see, it's so refreshing to see that. But at any point did people tell you, you know, I think you should fix this, ye aapko fix karna chahiye aapke baare mein?
But yeah, when I started off in the industry, so the first thing they told me is smile is too gummy, it's too much teeth. And I did not, you know, there was a time where I used to try to smile without opening my mouth because I didn't know how to smile. I just knew how to smile. So I'd be like, is that right? And we just go all over. Then I was like, damn it, you know, I'm just going to do it the way I know it. But had I listened to it then, I would probably be a disaster. Like, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't look like, maybe my smile may not be your smile, right? Like you may have a sweeter, softer smile. I have a more full-blown smile, but that's the personality that I come with. Had I fixed it, and I've heard this, like one of the major things I heard was change your name.
Genelia. What were they keeping it?
I don't know, some said Gina, some said Jeannie. Also, these names don't even sound like me. Like, my parents have literally come up with a combination of my dad and my mom's name, Jeanette and Neil. That's how my name is formed. It's not even a real name, like, you know. So, I was like, I can't just put that down. I mean, that's already taking away some part of you.
Yeah, I mean, now it makes sense. I did not know this.
Yes.
So, unique is like...
What my mom said. Because I was like, what's the meaning of my name? You're unique, nobody has your name.
I love that. But you know, people talk about Jaane to Jaane na itna zyada aur पूछते रहते हैं आपको, you know, how is the shoot, tell me something. But I want to understand today, after so many years, आपके लिए वो एक favorite scene क्या है?
I think with Prateek. I think that scene with Prateek, no? And he says, did you remember any of my friends? Which he says, or with Jeev. And I'm like, ye kya? I think those two scenes are my most favorite scenes.
Also, when you see Prateek's room, I think for the first time, and the painting.
Yeah, sweet. I loved that track actually. 3 scenes. See, again, 3 scenes, but worth it. You'll never forget Prateek Babbar in that film.
Yeah.
Like, I've come to realize that is the kind of work I want to do. You know, I may not be there from, like, Sitare is Aamir Khan. I'm not there from the start to the end. People were like, you know, you're not there on the poster, the first poster that came out. I was like, yeah, but the film talks about something else. You have to be broad enough to understand that. And this is not something that was instantly how I used to feel. Like, I used to feel, why am I not on the poster? Why am I, you know, initially. But today I'm a different person. I understand why I'm not. And I understand second week, like everything else comes out, you know. So that feels amazing too. Like, you know, that you're working. Like people liked seeing you somewhere. So I think it's very important to understand. What is the film about? Is the film about a love story between Gulshan, or is that a part of the
Part
film?
of it. Yeah.
So, these kind of stuff. So I'm very secure. I think my biggest joy is that my biggest plus point is that I'm very secure.
Were you very close to your character this time?
So, no.
Genelia and
No.
the character?
No,
Because
no.
like mums. Why? What would?
See, I will never, actually it's Gulshan who leaves and goes away. It's not Sunita. But actually I could be. She keeps trying. She doesn't let go. I don't let go of anyone that I love. The day I let go is the day that my heart has been broken.
Yeah.
Like I don't let go. Like we can have issues, we can patch up, and you'll be in my life like how you were before. It's not like I don't hold grudges.
Really?
I don't hold grudges. But I expect that if something has gone wrong with me, because if something's gone wrong with me and I'm the fault, I'll come and talk about it. I will not let it go. It's too precious a relationship to let go.
Yeah.
But if someone thinks that they don't need to at all talk about it, then I'm like, okay, that's your life. I'll still be cordial with you. I'll never be like, I don't want to look at you. But you won't be part of me. And I like a union. I like I like growing together. I like developing together,
Yeah. When you also sort of took the decision कि मुझे थोड़ी देर break लेना है because priorities had changed, was there no fear of I will lose out on so much more work and so much more stardom?
No. See, stardom was never part of it. Fame and stardom was out.
Yeah.
So
Haan.
it made my decision very easy. But
also for an ambitious girl, I feel like it's difficult.
I'm not very ambitious. So I'm not a very ambitious girl. It stems from that. I think when I got married also, people were like, you're on top. Where are you going? This is not the time to do it. So I don't understand this top down. I just think I'm good in what I'm doing. I just think that I'm good as in I enjoy doing what I'm doing. So whenever I feel like it, I'm sure someone will see me and I'm glad, See, again, it's not what I feel. It's what people feel. Today, if an Aamir Khan or an Aamir Khan production didn't feel like offering me the role, I wouldn't have got the role. Right? I did nothing for it.
Yeah.
I didn't go and seek it. I got it.
Yeah.
It is someone looking after me, I feel.
Yeah. God's favorite child.
Of God's favorite child.
No, but the story, I feel like when you and Riteish met, I sort of feel like when someone with that power and that money and that stature and affluent family comes your way, आप सोचोगे कि ये तो अगर मुझ पे लाइन मार रहा है तो किसी और पे भी लाइन मार रहा होगा और just men who are that powerful.
Yeah.
I think it's very natural for a humble girl or a middle class girl to sort of not believe it.
Yes.
How difficult was it for you to believe that he genuinely likes me?
No, Riteish and me dated for 10 years.
Yeah.
Marriage was never part of this dating.
But even while courtship.
No, so even while courtship, Riteish was someone who used to tell me that I don't know where it's heading. I used to tell him, I don't think I know your part of life as much, I think we'll have issues because I don't know it enough. And then we realized that everything else is secondary. If you can't go to sleep without making someone go with you through that day, it means that that person is yours, Having said that, I always worked. I always shared a bill with Riteish. I never let him pay the bill, ever. And that is something that I follow till date.
You'll split?
I mean, I pay it once, he pays it once. That is not a decision making that a boy only has to pay or a girl only has. During courtship, I was even more particular because I felt people would judge me and say that you're with Riteish Deshmukh, so so I remember he used to get me these really nice gifts, which were expensive, and I would tell him, okay, now that you've got this gift, for the next year you cannot get me anything.
How cute!
Yeah, I used to tell him these things. Right? So I come from that school of thought. Even today, like Riteish and me, we work towards our kids together.
Yeah.
It's not the pressure on him to look after the family.
Yeah.
I help out.
Absolutely.
I help out. And very often I feel homemakers are not given that, level. Like, we don't put a monetary price to a homemaker's job, right? Like, I think everyone would be broke if they had to. I really think people don't, like, I think our moms have done it so selflessly.
Yeah.
Like, nobody even asks. Like, when a child is born, everyone will say, how's the child? What about the mother? She's just delivered after 9 months. Who will say, how you feeling? Have you seen it? No.
Yeah.
It's time to change.
Yeah.
It's time to ask the mother, are you okay? The child too will sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you okay? Are you feeling your body has gone through wear and tear? 9 months you've carried. You've just had a child, whether it's cesarean, whether it's normal delivery. It's gone through something, but do we have the time? We don't. We don't think we need to. ये आपका काम है. You know, we feel that's the thing.
Yeah.
Postpartum is never spoken about. Who knows about postpartum? Women go through postpartum. Who speaks about it? Nobody.
Yeah. But I feel, did you feel like you had all the support during your...
Yeah. I attract that also. I think as like I've had a partner. So Riteish and me are partners. More than husband and wife, we're partners in our life, you know.
I think friendship is the base.
Base, yeah. It's totally. If you can't converse, you have a problem.
Is there any particular gift that you feel you gave him and you're very like proud? Okay, you know, I gave him. I put a lot of thought and...
Yeah. You know, when I got married, I said Riteish had all these fancy cars, you know. And to that, I have to tell you, Riteish drives a Fortuner right now. He's given up all his fancy cars, you know, because he wants to teach the kids. See, by default, the kids get a car because there are some privileges. But we get a car that, you know, we can teach them step by step. You know, not that it's a small car or a basic car, but it's just something to teach them. So Riteish doesn't drive these high-end cars anymore, you know. But when I was getting married to him, I wanted to give him a car that he didn't have, okay. And I don't think I had as much of finances to do that, you know. It was tough on me. But I remember, and you can ask Nandita, who used to manage me, but she's also a very close friend. I said, I will do all work to collect that money because this gift has to be something that he doesn't have.
Oh my God.
So, and his dad, when I gave him the car, and I gave it to him before we got married, was I said, you know, I know there'll be media there. People will say that I'm doing this for media. I don't want to do this. I did this 15 days before we got married. I remember his dad saying that this girl has worked so hard. Let her put the same money in a fixed deposit, you know, don't tell her not to. And so he said, no, but she's not listening. But that was my way of, you know, like, I'm like, I have to get you something that you don't have. Then. So I put in a lot of my effort. It sounds like it boils down to just money.
No, but it's the thought.
Yeah, but it was a matter of working towards it.
That is so sweet. I would date you.
Thank you.
That is, I think, the sweetest thing. I think it's the thought that matters to give him something that... And it hits different when it's your own hard-earned money.
Yes, it is different.
But, you know, I was having a conversation with him, abhi raid aayi thi, aur unhone kaha tha ki, you know, people kept commenting that Riteish Deshmukh is the most underrated actor and he's, you know, we love him to see him as a villain in a comedy genre. And he said ki mujhe mere औकात se काफी ज़्यादा मिला है. And I want to understand, as a wife, what is your opinion on that?
Riteish is an amazing person. He has such a amazing head. His thought process is so amazing, so humble. I mean, he has seen highs of a lifetime, you know, but it never takes the better of him. It never takes the better of him. He is extremely humble and he believes that. It's not like, you know, he feels... And honestly, what is underrated? I don't know. He's getting the best roles. Like, you know, he's the only... I think if you talk about versatility, there's no one who can do comedy, serious, love story, all in one, right? Like, it's unfortunate that we don't celebrate these success stories as much as we do for, you know, bigger things. But I wish we did.
Yeah. But there's also... I want to understand what's the most... What's probably the most Marathi thing that you have gotten in you?
Totally.
Fully.
I love Maharashtrian food. Like, I love it. I think it is highly, highly nutritious.
Okay. Which
Because you don't eat You don't eat gluten at all. You just have bhakris, you have rajgira roti. I love thitha, I love shengdana chutney, I love all of this, you know. So food is pretty much on those lines. I follow most of the traditions. I love it. Like I love it, and so does Riteish. I mean, he loves where I came from. I love. See, again, that's where it comes down to partnership. I feel, you know, when you enjoy each other.
It works out.
Yeah, it's not like you have to do this or you have to. You want to.
You know, he even told me during one interview that hands down Genelia जब plan करने की चीजें आती है तो वो उसका ही department है. Hence proved she is the better producer.
Yeah. That I'll take. That I'll take. He is never planned. Never ever planned.
And this is really helping, which is where I think today you both are working on a dream project. Wade did what it did. It sort of, obviously हम देख रहे हैं मराठी सिनेमा बहुत बेहतरीन काम कर रहा है, but y'all are just putting it more on the map.
I don't know. I hope we're doing our bit. Yeah.
But do you feel that this was the most unexpected change that you guys got to the industry?
No, I don't think. I think we have worked with very amazing people. We see in our production, we don't do films every 6 months. We do it when we feel that the story is right, the budgets are right, the film is right. We do it then, Otherwise, we don't. We don't do films every year. Like Wade was 3 years ago. Raja Shivaji will come on next year, which is But what we do 100%. So I think that's the base for the films that we want to make. Like we don't want a factory. We want to make it when we know. Maybe our teams may grow bigger and we will make more films in the coming years to come. But that's when you have the ability to do that, not overcommitting.
How are you as an entrepreneur?
So strangely, I think I've learned it. I think I like it. But I never saw it as part of my life again. So I started doing it to help Riteish, and I think now I handle most of it. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But where did this thought come from? कि हमको vegan बनना चाहिए, or we should completely switch and sort of stop this.
Stop what?
Eating non-veg.
Riteish gave up first in 2016. I gave up in 2017. I think primarily it was to help oneself. Like we both wanted to get more aware of what we were doing. So it was first for ourselves. Then I started going on the route of animals, of just basically being sensitive to what you're doing and how you're doing. So I think it became about that.
There's people talk about how your sons behave in front of the paps. But I feel as a parent, like you said, Riteish has also given up the cars. But कहीं ना कहीं वो डर है कि my kids are born with a lot of privilege. We are going to do our best to sort of ground them.
Yeah.
But they are born with a silver spoon, and it is going to impact them somewhere. Is that a fear?
No. There's no fear. I mean, you're born in a situation you're born in. But I think what we do, and we're very clear on that, is we make them part of teams, football teams. So often they're sitting on the bench. Like if it was mine or Riteish's son, one would assume that they would only be playing, But so often they're just benched for 3 matches, 4 matches, and they take it in their stride. They're like, today I didn't play great, so I was benched. Tomorrow I'm going to play better. There's one part about them getting privileges, but there's also one part, unfortunately, that is assumed privileges. The hard work is always not recognized. So I fear more about that than anything else.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that actually happens.
You see, even a lot of kids are like, even kids in the industry, everyone's like, oh, you got it easy. I don't think anyone gets it easy. I mean, you probably get more opportunities than someone like me. But you put so much hard work into it. You have so much pressure to live up to certain things. You may know it better than the rest of us, but why not? I mean, a businessman's son will know that life better, a politician's son will know that life better. Similarly, a filmmaker's son or daughter will know that
Life
route
better.
better. But it's taken for granted कि आप लोग hard work नहीं करते, you know.
And that might impact them.
So I feel that's very unfortunate.
Yeah. No, I'm sure like it. I think things should change
Yes.
by the time they grow up and.
I think credit where it's due.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But you know, lastly, before I leave, I sort of want to also ask. I know a lot of people have asked you about this one video going viral always, where you're looking a little possessive. Is it true? Are you a possessive wife, girlfriend?
No, yeah, I was wearing heels and you know whatever. It was just hurting, and they were talking, Preeti and Riteish.
Yeah.
And I wanted to leave, but hats off to the cameraman who shot it. He did a great job of shooting it. But it's a good laugh. I think it's a great laugh. I'm very clear that I have to be in Riteish's, you know, number one. I don't care about these things. Are too frivolous for us. We've dated for 23 years now, and you know, it's people keep trying to get. I mean, the video with Preeti Zinta was amazing. I think that cameraman did a great job. But there are so many after videos that have come out which are rubbish. Like, I don't think it makes any sense. It's just blown out of proportion, trying to be, you know, another one. But
I feel at that point, it's not possessive, it was just your social battery getting
I was
over.
dying. I was like, oh God.
Ghar jana hai.
Yeah. So, but theek hai, it was a good laugh. So why not?
Yeah, and lastly, I have to say that, you know, there's so much love and so much a big part of your life that you give to your sons as a parent. I feel like today, and there's so much you talk about parenthood. How do you sort of see yourself as a mother? Are you very proud of the mother that you have turned out to be? And what would you want to work on?
See, I'm very proud of the fact that I took charge of the mother I want to be. You know, and I've always said it that every mom is amazing. Every mom. And I say it to people also who say, how do you do that? Yeah, but you're amazing at what you do too. You know, it's not just me. So yeah, there's nothing I would want to change. I just want to tell people, and I know it's a big deal, that's why I keep talking about parenting. I just want to tell people that you are doing a fabulous job. Like, don't let anyone make you feel anything other than what you're doing. Perfect parenting doesn't exist. There is imperfection, and that's the beauty about it, that you grow with a child. They say a child gives birth to a mother, a child gives birth to a parent. It's not just the other way around. You know, so I think that's very important, because so many moms struggle, so many dads struggle with the fact of being like someone else that they consider perfect. I keep telling them, go to your drawing board and figure it out for yourself. What you want. Like I'm an early riser. My children wake up at, 6:30, 7. They go for football, they do. But someone else's child may not wake up at that time because they may be sleeping slightly later. But that's fine, because maybe the parent comes home a little later. Now, how will you have an interaction with your... So, I'm saying there's nothing right and wrong. Yeah. Don't let anyone tell you that.
What's a normal day in your life like if I had done this?
As in, if I'm not working, I'm with the kids.
Yeah, if you're not working, so then it's like going to them.
Going for their practices, having lunch with them, in the night, putting them to sleep, saying our prayers. We say our prayers. Every morning we have to do our Gayatri Mantra, we have to do, Hanuman Chalis. We say Our Father in the morning, which is the prayer that I've grown up saying. So this is a must and an experience of what was yesterday and what was today. This is something that I inculcated into them, and whether it's Riteish or me and we're dropping them to school, this is something we say every morning. I know there are a lot of thoughts that, there's a supreme power, there's no God, there's no this, but we honestly, we practice gratitude and we practice the ability to get better. So this is one thing. What you think you could have improved in, or what you thought you were amazing at. This is something that we do every single day. Every single day this is done.
Wow.
And
Wow, that's
know my whole story now and my life story, and I don't think we have to do any more interviews now.
No, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. This is such a lovely conversation.
Thank
It was
you.
literally like speaking to a friend. But
Thank you.
Thank you so much
thank
for
you.
Sitare Zameen Par. Thank you so much for all the cinema you've given us
Thank you.
and all your interviews.
Thank you so much.
We hope to see you more soon in this year and next year.
Yes.
With so many more projects.
No,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much for a lovely interview. It was, I don't think I have to talk anymore now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Genelia and you're watching me on Instant Bollywood.